My child, come close and still your heart, for what I am about to speak is unlike anything you have ever heard before. In this moment that seems ordinary, I am opening before you a sacred space woven with life, breath, and light prepared since eternity past for those who dare to step beyond their own limits. You are not merely standing in a moment, you are standing at a divine intersection where the unseen rivers of destiny, calling, and heavenly assignment converge upon the very path you are walking. I call your name at this precise point not to awaken a memory, but to awaken a mission, not to recall your past, but to unveil your future, not to remind you of what has been, but to place in your hands something entirely new, pure, radiant, and born from eternity itself. Look, not with the eyes of the flesh, but with the inner eyes those I placed within you the moment life was breathed into your small chest. These are the eyes that see what no human heart can fathom, no ear has heard, no mind has imagined. These eyes were once covered by the dust of disappointment, blurred by the voices of the world, clouded by wounds inflicted by those you trusted. But today, I am cleansing those eyes not with water, but with my presence. I am touching the place within you that you thought was sealed forever. I am placing a new light in your soul so you will not only walk, but walk with weight, with clarity, with recognition, with unmistakable guidance. You once believed you made it this far because of your own persistence, but in truth, every step you took had my hand behind it like a gentle wind pushing you onward. You believed your courage came from your own strength, but I planted seeds of bravery in you long ago, waiting for this season to rise. You believed you were lost, but I tell you now, not one of your steps has been wasted. Not one season you journeyed through was unnecessary. Not one tear you shed was forgotten. I gathered them all, every drop, every sigh, every silent night you sat, wondering if anyone truly understood you. I did. I saw. I held every bit of it. I want you to understand this: you are not here by accident. You did not arrive at this moment by coincidence. I led you through valleys you thought you'd never escape, not to exhaust you, but to root you deeply. I walked you through dark corridors where your soul trembled, not to wound you, but to mature you. I allowed you to face closed doors, not to crush your hope, but to train your ears to recognize the sound of the door I would open. My child, none of your trials were abandonment. They were whispers, reminding you that you were called to something greater than you imagined. I know there were moments you wanted to stop, moments you wanted to retreat, moments you wondered why you should continue when every step ahead felt uncertain. But in those exact moments, you were closer to me than ever before. You thought I was silent, but I was standing beside you, watching every movement within your soul. You thought I was absent, but I was aligning the threads of your destiny in ways your natural eyes could not see. You thought you were alone, but even in your deepest despair, my hand was resting upon your shoulder. You didn't notice, but your spirit did. My child, what I am about to tell you is the foundation for the entire new journey ahead. You are no longer the person of your former seasons. The things that once weighed heavily on you will begin to lose their power. The voices that once frightened you will grow distant. The wounds that once bowed your head will become the testimony of the restoration I am crafting within you. You are about to step into a spiritual territory you have never touched before, a territory not shaped by your effort, but by my intention, not fueled by pressure, but by calling, not unlocked by you, but opened by me, the one who placed you in this moment to do what only you can do. Listen carefully, for this will become a marker in your spirit. Whenever you feel shaken, you carry within you a promise not birthed from the world. That promise is not limited by circumstances, not confined by emotion, not hindered by opposition. It is about my life. It is sealed with my breath, and it is preserved by my faithfulness through every generation. That promise cannot be torn by betrayal, cannot be dimmed by trials, cannot be delayed by the enemy. For it is not yours to protect, it is mine to fulfill. The time has come for you to rise not as one who merely survives, but as one who is sent. Not as one who escaped the battle, but as one who carries fire from the battle to illuminate places others fear to enter. Not as one trembling at disruption, but as one upheld by the one who stands above every storm. You are no longer a soul clinging desperately. You are one placed into a divine current. You are one who carries a weight that only those who have endured refining can carry. My child, I see something in you that you have not yet seen in yourself: steadfastness. A steadfastness not born from success or recognition, but from choosing not to let go of your faith when the winds were strongest. That steadfastness moves heaven. It makes darkness tremble. It renders the predictions of the enemy powerless. From that steadfastness, I will build the new thing within you, something no one can hinder. For it was written before time began, my child. Stand upright in your soul. Allow my breath to flow into the hidden corners you once tried to conceal. Let my light shine into the places you thought could never be restored. I am calling you out of the old land of timidity, of doubt, of unnamed fractures. I am leading you onto a new plane where you can hear my voice without interference, sense my guidance without confusion, and receive steadfastness without needing to prove anything to anyone. This is the beginning point, not the end. This is the moment when I lay my hand upon your life in a way you will remember forever. With every breath you take, you will know that you no longer belong to your old limitations. With every step you walk, you will feel the weight of my presence stretched out before you. This is your hour. This is the appointed time. This is the call reserved for those who know how to rise again after long seasons of silence. And you, my child, are one of those, my beloved. Every journey I design is never merely a movement from one point to another. It is the shaping of a new nature within you. You are not only growing, you are being remade. You are not only being strengthened, you are being transformed. What I am doing to you now cannot be measured by outward changes, because it is maturing in the deepest layers of your soul. I am building within you a foundation capable of bearing the things I am about to establish, things that go far beyond what you imagine about yourself. Consider this: a seed cannot utter a single word, yet within it is encoded a life program long before it touches the soil. When the seed lies in the ground, it does not understand why darkness covers it, why it must be buried, covered over, and pressed down by heavy layers of earth. Yet it is precisely in that darkness that life begins, precisely in that silence that it develops, and from the place no one sees, a tender shoot breaks through the soil and a new story begins. So it is with you, my child. The seasons in which you felt hidden were the very seasons in which I worked the most deeply in you. It was in those quiet stretches that I rewrote the internal structure of your soul. You often think I act only when something obvious happens, but the most enduring works of mine are completed in stillness, not in the strong wind, not in loud upheavals, but in the moments when you sit alone at night and whisper my name with a weary voice. You do not know how that moves heaven. You do not know how every time you chose to rise again while your heart was still trembling, it altered the spiritual atmosphere around you. Those are the very moments I gather and use to forge the power you are about to walk in. And now, you no longer need to strive to become what I have already ordained you to be. You simply need to open your heart and agree with it. You are not called to prove your worth. You are called to live in the worth I have already sealed upon you. You are not called to compete with anyone. You are called to walk in the rhythm I have composed uniquely for you. You do not need to chase external voices to define who you are. Your identity is confirmed by the very voice I placed within you from the beginning. I know that at times you feel a resistance rise up inside, not because you don't believe, but because you have grown so familiar with what once wounded you. You learn to protect yourself, not with assurance, but with caution. You learn to expect the worst so you would not be disappointed. You became accustomed to bowing before the voices that once hurt your soul. But my child, that season has ended. I am removing layers from you, even before you realize you are wearing them. I am softening your heart where it hardened from repeated hurts. I am bringing you back to the place where my original calling once echoed. Before the world laid its hands on the pattern of your thoughts, come closer. For what I long to reveal now carries the nature of renewal. You have spent years asking why you had to walk through so many losses. You have wondered why relationships you trusted cracked apart. You have wondered why you had to endure moments where your soul felt torn in two. But now I tell you this, all of it was to bring you into the right position. What seemed to hinder was in fact protecting. What seemed to rob you was in fact releasing you. What seemed to be misdirection was in fact guiding you into the orbit of what I have written for you. You used to believe that a closed door was a sign of failure. In truth, I closed doors you do not yet see would trap you. There are places you wanted to remain because they felt safe. But I knew they were far too small for what I am preparing. There were people you wanted to hold on to because they once comforted you. But I knew their presence would limit your steps. There were things you wanted to continue simply because they were familiar. But I knew they could never carry you into the land appointed for you. Look back and you will see, every time I took you out of something, I always led you to something better, even when you did not understand it at the time. What I am forming in you is not based on how others have treated you, but on how I see you in eternity. When you see yourself as lacking, I see you being shaped. When you feel abandoned, I see you being set apart. When you feel weak, I see you placed in the perfect position to receive my strength. You do not know this, but I have sent angels into your life simply to guard your heart from things that could have destroyed it. There were moments you thought you had collapsed, but in truth you were only being separated from things that did not belong to you. My child, you are not merely someone who survives trials. You are someone who can help lead other souls through their own. What I am doing to you will not stop with you. It will flow outward into the lives I have placed around you. You once thought your silence had no value. But in truth, those moments you sat alone in reflection shook unseen realms. You once thought your unspoken prayers were nothing more than expressions of exhaustion. But I tell you this, those very moments raised pillars in your spiritual journey. Maturity does not come only through victories. It comes through recognizing your own limits. You are not called to be invincible by the world's standards. You are called to be unshakable by heaven's standard. Unshakable, not because you never fall, but because you know where to stand up. Unshakable, not because you are strong in every situation, but because you know your strength does not come from yourself. Unshakable, not because you never get hurt, but because you know where your hurt must be brought to my hands. My child, I also want you to realize this. There are things I have spoken to your soul long ago that you dismissed as imagination. No, you were not imagining them. That was my whisper. There were times your heart was stirred for no apparent reason. That was not a passing emotion. It was a signal I sent to show you the direction. There were moments you felt you needed to pause before making a decision. That was guidance. There were times you sensed you should move forward, even when you did not have enough information. That was the urging of my spirit. You do not walk alone, and you have never walked alone, even when you felt isolated in invisible battles. I have never been far away. You do not know this. But when you trembled while crossing the greatest thresholds of your life, I stood directly behind you. When you had to choose between safety and truth, I placed my hand on your shoulder to steady you. When you lost those you loved, I knelt beside your bed each night you wept. When you thought you could not go on, I breathed life into your soul once more. I am bringing you into a new phase, a phase in which hesitation will fade, doubt will thin out, and you will walk with a different kind of confidence. Not confidence in yourself, but confidence born from knowing that I am in every step you take. You will no longer beg for scraps. You will no longer wait for someone else to validate your worth. You will no longer hide from the light. You will stand, and you will stand without trembling. You will speak, and your words will carry weight. You will act, and what you do will touch other souls, not because you are impressive, but because I am moving through you. My child, I want you to feel more deeply a reality that you yourself have sometimes been afraid to believe. You carry within you the sacred imprint of one who has been entrusted with authority. Not authority in the sense the world recognizes, but the authority to have doors open to you, the authority to hear my voice, the authority to walk on paths where many are not permitted to step. The shifting of the season you are about to enter does not arrive with roaring winds, but with the weight of my presence settling upon your soul. It is like the subtle change in the atmosphere before dawn breaks, not loud, not dramatic, but carrying a certainty that cannot be denied. You have walked through depths where many hearts trembled and turned back. You have endured challenges no one could name. You have moved through barren places where only pure faith and steady perseverance kept you standing. And because you did not let go, you now stand in a place where not everyone can stand. I do not say this to make you proud. I say it so you will recognize the truth of what I have placed within you. You were chosen to carry a light that can pass through layers of darkness. You were set apart, not to be isolated, but to be prepared. You were led, not because you were more deserving than others, but because you were more willing than they. Your soul once bore scars from seasons you could not understand, the moments of abandonment, the moments when something beautiful arrived only to disappear, the moments when you believed the worst had finally come to destroy you. But look now, my child, they did not destroy you. They rooted you. They did not break you. They deepened you. Not a single pain you carried was meaningless. They became the rich soil in which I planted things no one can uproot. From the places where you were broken, I shaped the material that now forms your resilience. You did not know it then, but every time you endured in silence, I was forging within you a strength that no praise and no earthly success could ever produce. Nothing from your past is allowed to define your future unless I use it as a foundation. The rejections you suffered were not verdicts against your value. They were markers I used to position you correctly. The tears you thought were wasted actually watered the ground of your calling. The seasons when you felt forgotten were the very seasons in which I hid you from things that would have sabotaged your progress. There was not a single moment you walked through that I did not use to shape the maturity growing within you. Look inside yourself. There are desires you once buried deeply, not because they were wrong, but because you were unsure whether you deserved them. But now I tell you those very desires were placed by me. They are not fantasies. They are not illusions. They are signals of the future I have prepared. They are echoes of what I have already set in motion in the unseen realm. You do not need to fear your dreams. You do not need to shrink from hope. You do not need to make yourself small to feel safe. I want you to dream freely and hope courageously. Because what I am about to do for you surpasses anything you have ever dared to believe. This moment in your life is not like the seasons you have walked through before. Previously, you had to struggle to overcome each challenge. You had to push yourself to keep going. You had to guard your heart from breaking as storms crashed over you. But now, something different is happening. You no longer have to strain as you once did. Not because everything will suddenly become easy, but because you have changed. You are no longer someone who needs to learn how to stand. You are someone who already knows how. You are no longer one who merely hopes to overcome. You are one who can lead. You are no longer someone searching for validation. You are someone who knows the calling in your heart. And because of this shift, what I open for you will look different. You will see doors open without needing to knock forcefully. You will see the flow of your life, guided by arrangements you did not orchestrate. You will see people I have chosen approaching you without you needing to impress them. My beloved, I want you to know this: the change you feel is not your imagination. It is the response of your soul as it draws closer to its purpose. You will feel the stillness inside you becoming sharper. You will see that things which once frightened you no longer hold power. You will notice that worries which once consumed your thoughts begin to shrink, not because the problems vanish, but because you have been lifted to a higher place, a place where your perspective is no longer confined by circumstance. This elevation is what will enable you to discern what I am about to do through you in the days ahead. I did not bring you here merely to comfort you. I brought you here to commission you. I am not only healing you, I am turning you into someone who can heal others. I am not only removing old burdens, I am placing upon you a holy weight that will bring life to those around you. What you have walked through has not been just a journey of restoration, it has been a preparation to become a bearer of vitality. Every challenge you overcame contributed to the timbre of your voice, a timbre that those who are wounded will recognize the moment they hear it. Every fall you endured added to the gentleness in your gaze, a gentleness no textbook can teach, a gentleness shaped only by real experience. And now, I place into your hands a spiritual key, not a key made of metal, but a key made of understanding. This key does not open physical doors, it opens doors in the realm of the spirit. It unlocks the ability to recognize when I am speaking, when I am guiding, when I want you to pause or step forward. It unlocks a courage that cannot be shaken, for it does not rely on convenience. It unlocks a peace that cannot be stolen, for it does not come from circumstances. This key is given to those who have walked through fire and yet kept their hearts pure. You are one of them. Stand upright in the new nature I am forming within you. Allow your heart to widen before my presence. Allow me to breathe life back into the dark corners you once believed would remain barren forever. I am calling you forward not for you to strive in your own strength, but for you to walk in step with me, not for you to bear heavy responsibility alone, but for you to learn how to lean upon what I am doing, not for you to wander in isolation, but for you to move in the light of the guidance I prepared long before you arrived here. Let this truth sink deeply. You were created for a significant stage in the story I am writing. You are not out of rhythm. You are not late. You lack nothing needed to step into what I am about to open. Everything you have endured has simply been preparation for this moment. And this moment is only the beginning of even greater doors that await you. My child, as you step into a new chapter of your spiritual life, I desire to reveal to you a vision you were not yet strong enough to see before. This vision does not only concern what I will do for you, but also what I am orchestrating in the entire spiritual atmosphere surrounding you. You are not merely being guided, you are being woven into a movement greater than yourself. The things you have been sensing lately, the subtle vibrations in your spirit, the wordless stirrings, the inner shifts you cannot fully explain, are all signs that you are standing in the flow of divine arrangement. Before this, you only saw scattered pieces of your journey, each trial, each night of tears, each silent prayer whispered into the dark. But now I want you to see the larger tapestry, where every heartbeat, every choice, every tear, every moment you held your peace instead of retaliating, are being connected into a complete and intentional design. No more fragments, no more confusion. Everything is taking shape according to a hidden order I established from the beginning. Do you know why I led you into seasons you did not understand? Because I wanted you to experience my presence without relying on outward signs. I wanted you to learn how to sense me without noise. I wanted your heart to become so attuned that even the faintest breath of my spirit could stop your steps or move you forward. That kind of sensitivity cannot be learned in a classroom, nor acquired from books. It is formed only when your soul descends into depths that only I can navigate with you. Once you can recognize me in silence, I want you to hear greater things, things not meant for the ears of those who have not been refined. My child, I have appointed you as a gatekeeper in this generation. You do not realize it because you see yourself as small, ordinary, unqualified. But I do not build on your self-confidence. I build on your willingness. I do not require you to be strong to be used. I desire you to be ready so that I may be strong through you. There is something you must understand. It is not a coincidence that your long seasons have been more difficult than those of many others. It is not a coincidence that you have had to rise over and over again, even when you felt emptied. It is not a coincidence that you have walked through barren places others have never known. All of it carries a purpose not to break you, but to deepen you. Those who are called to carry light into the darkest corners must encounter darkness before they can stand firm against it. Those who are entrusted to speak life must first endure silence so deep it makes their own souls tremble. Those who are given the responsibility to lead others out of invisible prisons must have known those prisons themselves. Do you think I would choose someone who has never tasted pain to heal the hurting? I choose those who understand brokenness, to lift up the broken. You have shattered in places no one else has seen, because one day you will stand before those whose souls have shattered in the same way. You were misunderstood until you felt voiceless, because one day you will restore the voice of those who have been muted. You have known disorientation so profound that you wondered if you had lost your way, because one day you will lead others out of spiritual blindness. My child, I am opening for you a new layer of understanding, one that only those who allow themselves to be shaped by me can receive. You are not only invited to walk with me, you are entrusted to guard what I am planting in this generation. I have watched you through the seasons when you were fragile, when you did not understand what you were facing, when you doubted whether you could continue. But in those very seasons, I saw something in you that others could not see. You did not abandon your hope. You were tired, but you did not retreat. You were pushed back, but you continued to pray. You were wounded, but you did not close your heart to me. And it is precisely this that has made you fertile ground for the plans I am preparing. Now I am leading you into a new land, a place where you will begin to recognize my movements more clearly than ever before. You will see things that once felt uncertain begin to come into focus. You will realize that many events in your life were never random, but arranged like stones placed deliberately to guide you toward a deeper purpose. I will astonish you with the precision of every shift in your life. You will see people appear at the exact moment you need them. Doors will open in the right season. Obstacles that once seemed to block your path will become catalysts that push you toward the place you are meant to reach. The shift you are sensing does not only take place in the spiritual realm, it will touch every layer of your life, your emotions, your perceptions, your dreams, even the things you thought had died within you. You will see parts of yourself you believed were extinguished begin to awaken, not as they once were, but in a more mature, refined, and purified form. There are desires you once let go of because you believed you were unworthy. I will breathe life into them again in a way that shows you it was never about you earning them, it was always about me giving them. I want you to understand this clearly. You are not merely entering an easier season. You are entering a weightier one. Before, you learned how to survive. Now, you will learn how to carry my presence. Before, you learned how to keep your heart from sinking. Now, you will learn how to walk on the waters I have opened before you. Before, you learned how to hear my voice through the noise. Now, you will hear my voice in every breath. What I am about to place in your hands is not a light gift. It is an entrustment. It is a responsibility. It is the sign that I trust you enough to lay upon your shoulders a portion of what I am doing at this moment of time. I will open within you levels of discernment that not everyone will understand. Others may not see what you see. Others may question what you sense. But remember this, I did not call them. I called you. Stand firm. For my movement surrounds you like a ring of invisible glory. You will step into a season where my guidance becomes more alive than ever. You will not walk in confusion. You will walk in certainty. You will not walk in fear. You will walk in my affirmation. You will not walk in doubt. You will walk in the awareness that you are not merely being led, you are being placed in your rightful position to participate in my divine orchestration. My child, as your spirit becomes familiar with the new atmosphere I am leading you into, I want to unveil a subtler layer of revelation. My movements always begin in the heart before they manifest outwardly. Many people wait for signs, for visible change, for immediate results, but you are different. I have trained you to sense internal shifts long before your physical eyes can see anything. You are not trained to live by emotion but by spiritual discernment. It is not external change that announces a new season, it is the inner transformation that tells you heaven's doors have already opened. Do you feel it? In recent days, there have been moments when you stopped in the middle of ordinary tasks and felt as though your soul had been touched by an unseen hand. You cannot explain why, but you sense movement happening within you. That is not imagination. That is the sign of a transition I have initiated. You are stepping out of the old realm not just with your feet, but with your mind, emotions, perceptions, and even the rhythm of your inner being, all being realigned to match what I am setting before you. What I am doing to you now is like changing the direction of the wind on the sea. To someone standing far away, wind is just wind. But to the one rowing a boat, the direction of the wind determines the course. And I am changing the wind around your soul. What once made you hesitate will now become momentum. What once frightened you will lose its power. Voices that once drowned out mine will grow faint. You will move with a lightness you never believed you could carry. You once became accustomed to the battles within your mind, battles to believe, to not faint, to resist being pulled into old cycles. But now I tell you this, that season of inner warfare is coming to an end. Not because you have become perfect, but because I am moving you into a position of deep peace. This peace does not come from control. This peace comes from alignment with me. When your spirit is synchronized with my rhythm, spiritual battle will no longer knock you down. It will become the environment in which you stand firm without being shaken. In this season, I will teach you a secret few ever understand. There are times when my silence is not delay, but confirmation. Silence does not mean I am distant. Silence means I am preparing. Silence means I am putting everything into its precise place so that it can unfold at once in a way that will leave you astonished. Silence means I am training your heart in sensitivity so that you rely not on feeling, but on presence. My child, you once thought calling was about what you do, but calling begins with who you become. You cannot step into the new if you carry the mindset of the old. You cannot speak my words if the echoes of fear remain in your heart. You cannot stand in the place I have assigned to you if you still tremble under the opinions of others. That is why I drew you away from the noise, not to isolate you, but to reset the volume of my voice within you. When every other sound fades, you will recognize my voice more clearly than ever. This is the time when I am recalibrating the authority within you. You once felt small, but now I am giving you awareness of your true value. You once believed your words carried little weight, but now I am sharpening your voice to carry depth and clarity. You once felt shaken by criticism, but I am making your soul steadfast, not through hardness, but through divine stability. Those who have not been trained inwardly cannot stand firm for long, but you, my child, have been prepared through the very seasons you thought showed no progress. Do not think that the stirring in your soul lately is merely emotion. It is the sign that you are being repositioned. I am lifting you out of ceilings you thought were the limits of your life. I am expanding your capacity to receive. I am renewing your understanding of who you are. And I am placing within you a spiritual confidence not rooted in achievement, but in one unshakable truth: I am with you. I will not lead you into a new land without equipping you to live in it. And so, in the days ahead, you will notice a subtle transformation. You will begin to think differently, pray differently, perceive differently, and even the way you see yourself will begin to change. Old wounds will no longer make you tremble. Painful memories will no longer imprison you. The fears that once controlled you will weaken, like shadows retreating before a rising light within your soul. This is spiritual rebirth, not a dramatic, noisy transformation, but a quiet yet powerful metamorphosis. When one morning you awaken and feel your heart lighter, do not think it is a coincidence. It is the sign that I have touched the deepest layer of your being. When you speak without trembling, do not assume it is natural. It is me speaking through you. When you step forward without doubt, do not think it is your own strength. It is me, walking with you. In this season, I will begin placing around you people unlike those you once knew. You will no longer be surrounded by those who only knew how to pull you backward. Instead, you will encounter those whom I have arranged, people who recognize your value without you having to prove a thing. They come not to take, but to resonate. They do not come to make you doubt yourself, but to affirm what I have spoken. They do not come to demand, but to walk alongside you. I never intended for you to journey alone, but I could not allow you to walk with those who were not aligned with the rhythm I placed within you. You will no longer see life through the eyes of one who has been wounded. You will begin to see through the eyes of one who has been healed, not healed because you deserved it, but because I am faithful. Not healed because you are strong, but because you allowed me to touch the deepest places within you. I want you to remember this carefully. True transformation does not happen when circumstances change. It happens when your inner being is ready to step into something new. And you, my child, are ready. You are not perfect, but you are ready. You do not know everything, but you are ready. You are not sure you are strong enough, but you are ready for me to be strong through you. You will feel a gentle weight settle upon you, not a weight that crushes, but a weight that surrounds, not a weight that limits, but one that upholds, not a weight that exhausts, but one that causes you to stand tall. When you feel this, know that I am initiating the assignments I wrote for you before you were born. Hold your heart steady. Keep your mind open. Allow me to continue shaping you without resistance. You are moving in the right direction. You are in the right season. You are being placed in the right position. And soon, you will witness things you once never dared to believe could happen. My child, as you stand near the threshold of the transition I am opening for you, I want you to understand that this shift is not only an expansion inside your heart, but also a shift in the entire spiritual atmosphere surrounding your life. What is happening within you is only the first movement of a much larger transformation I will allow you to witness. You are not merely being led into depth, you are being positioned where you can see the invisible currents that are shaping your future. There are moments in a person's life when I lift them out of the ordinary and place them into a sacred space where every breath becomes a testimony, every step becomes a declaration, and every decision becomes a foundation for an entirely new season. You are standing in such a moment. I did not bring you here to simply observe from a distance. I brought you here so you could become a part of what I am doing. You once asked me, why does everything change so slowly? But now I ask you, are you ready for my true pace? You thought I was slow, but I am never slow. I only wait until you walk in the rhythm I set. If I opened something great before you had the strength to carry it, that very gift would become a burden. But now, you are mature enough for me to pour into your life movements you once could not bear. You have been refined, softened, and stripped of the sharp edges that once caused you to wound yourself. And out of this new softness, I will write the strongest chapters of your life. The things that seemed to waste your time actually prepared you for the focus you will need in the coming season. The years you thought were lost actually forged within you a level of discernment others do not possess. The parts of your life that caused the deepest pain were the exact places where I was digging your foundation, so that now, as I raise you up, you can endure the weight of what I am placing on your shoulders. Do you see it now? Everything is connected. Every experience has a place. Every tear carries purpose. I never waste your suffering. I turn it into oil. I never ignore your perseverance. I turn it into authority. I never forget your faithfulness. I turn it into a door. And this is what I want to tell you now. You are about to walk through a door built from the very things you have overcome. Not a door you chased, but a door I waited for you to be ready to enter. It does not look like what you imagined. It is wider, deeper, heavier with meaning, and it will pull you into a current that will make you both tremble in awe and declare with certainty, only God could have done this. There are people I will remove from your journey not because they are bad, but because they no longer align with where you are going. There are habits I will cause you to lose the desire for. There are fears I will dissolve on their own, not through force, but through illumination. When light appears, darkness doesn't have to fight, it simply disappears. Prepare yourself, for in the days ahead you will realize that your positioning is changing. No one has the authority to determine your place in my plan except me. And I am lifting you higher not so you can look down on others, but so you can see farther, wider, clearer. When I raise you, it is not a reward, it is an entrustment. You must understand that this entrustment comes with examination, not by people, but by me. I examine not to condemn, but to cleanse, not to frighten you, but to protect you. I will not allow your light to be dimmed by anything impure. I will not place on your heart a weight that will crush it. I will only give you what you can carry without breaking. And I know your strength better than you know it yourself. This transition of seasons is unlike any season you have ever walked through. You will no longer operate according to old rhythms. You will no longer rely on your own strength to overcome each challenge. You will no longer wrestle with what once frightened you. From now on, you will move by guidance, not by strain. You will move in flow, not in struggle. You will move in clarity, not in confusion. When I place revelation in your spirit, it will not be vague. It will carry shape, weight, and sharpness, something undeniable to your heart. My child, you are about to enter a season in which my very presence within you will become the evidence. You will not need to prove anything to anyone. You will not need to explain why I have chosen you. You will not need to be troubled by voices that do not understand you. None of these things hold authority over you anymore. You need only one thing: to follow my voice with honesty and faithfulness. And as you do, you will witness these things unfold as naturally as breath. You will feel me closer than ever. You will understand my words more quickly. You will know the way even before a map appears. You will stand firm even when circumstances shake. You will speak less, but every word will carry life. This season is the answer to the years you prayed without receiving clear replies. The years you persevered without seeing results. The years you wondered why everything was so difficult. Now you will see the reason I never let your efforts fall to the ground. I preserved every moment of your faithfulness, and now I will turn them into the momentum that will carry you into the next chapter of your calling. Stand firm. Open your heart. Prepare to receive what surpasses your understanding. You are not headed in the wrong direction. You are walking at perfect timing. And in this very timing, I am leading you into the great current of my movement. My child, from this point onward, you are not merely being led, you are being invited to participate in my workings in a more active, conscious, and mature way. You are no longer standing in the place of an apprentice, you are stepping into the place of a collaborator. This does not come from your striving. It comes from the maturity formed through the seasons in which I refined you. Look back at how you have changed, not through the lens of self-criticism, but through the lens of spiritual recognition. Before, you reacted to whatever happened in your life. Now, you discern invisible shifts before they manifest outwardly. Before, you prayed from a place of searching. Now you pray from a place of partnership. Before, you asked me what to do. Now you will ask me how I want you to do it. This is the sign of maturity. This is how I show you that you are ready to enter the deeper realms of insight. I will teach you what those at lower altitudes cannot grasp. Not every movement is loud. Some victories happen in silence. Some of my greatest works unfold in decisions you think are small. Some spiritual battles are won not through shouting, but through unshakable peace within your soul. When you stand in that peace, darkness trembles, because it cannot destabilize someone who stands in my presence. From now on, every thought you have, every word you speak, every action you take will carry a different weight, not because you are flawless, but because you have been placed in a position of influence. I am expanding your influence not through display, but through steadiness, not through noise, but through endurance. You will become a place others seek, not because you have all the answers, but because you carry my atmosphere. When they come near you, They will feel the peace they cannot find anywhere else. I am establishing in you a type of authority that does not come from age, social standing, or reputation. This authority comes from allowing me to touch the deepest parts of your being, the very areas that were once wounded, rejected, dismissed. These are the grounds upon which I am placing my power. Remember, I do not place greatness on the surface. I place it where the fire has passed through and not destroyed. And you are such a place. But I want you to go further. This stage is no longer about focusing solely on yourself. This is the stage where you will perceive what I am doing in the community, in the generation, in the lives of the people I will bring into your orbit. You will recognize that there are souls waiting for your presence, not because you are the solution, but because I have chosen to use you as a catalyst. Your presence will awaken hope. Your words will revive memories of promises they had forgotten. Your gaze will rekindle courage they believed they lost. This is not exaggeration. This is your assignment. I am shaping you into one who carries a soft influence, yet a powerful one. Others carry influence through strength, talent, or cleverness, but you will influence through presence. When you enter a room, the atmosphere will shift, not because you speak much, but because I am within you. For many, that presence will stir curiosity. For some, it will bring comfort. And for those who are running from me, that presence will cause them to confront themselves. My child, this transformation is not for the faint in spirit. That is why I allowed you to walk through depths of endurance. It was in the seasons when you felt abandoned that I built within you a spiritual capacity you did not know you possessed. Now I will use that capacity to carry burdens others cannot bear. I will place souls upon your heart, not for you to carry by force, but for you to lead toward me. You will not act in my place. You will collaborate with me. You are not called to chase the needs of people. You are called to listen to my voice. I will show you who needs you, when you should step in, and when you should remain silent. Do not assume that every cry for help is one I want you to answer. You belong to me, not to everyone. If you respond to every voice, you will burn out. But if you follow my voice, you will become a fountain that never runs dry. Relationships I open will carry lightness. Relationships not from me will carry disturbance. Opportunities I lead you into will bring peace. Opportunities born from pressure will bring unease. You no longer need to guess what is right or wrong. I will make everything clear. You will know when I say go and when I say stop, not through a loud voice, but through a decisive stillness in your spirit. From this point forward, you must understand that my revelation in your life will increase. You will comprehend things you have never understood before. You will see what others do not perceive. You will sense my movements before they appear in the visible world. Do not fear this sensitivity. It is not a burden, it is a gift. But to function rightly in this gift, you must keep humility close to your heart. Pride will dull my voice. Self-sufficiency will weaken discernment. But humility will make you a transparent vessel through which my light can pass freely. And remember this, I will not only open a deep understanding for you, I will open a breakthrough. Things once shut will open of their own accord. Things that seemed impossible will come toward you, not because you force them, but because you are standing where I want you to stand. You do not need to push anything into existence. You need only maintain sensitivity and obedience. When you are in the right position, I will send the right things at the right time. This shift is not a distant promise, it is happening right now. You may not see it clearly yet, but your soul is already feeling it. You are being lifted, you are being moved, you are being positioned, And when the moment reaches its fullness, you will understand that every stage of your journey has been leading you to this point. My child, I want to bring you into a new awareness of the role you are carrying. Before now, you thought you were simply someone being led, but what is being revealed in this season is this: you are becoming a carrier of awakening. Not an awakening created by noise, but an awakening produced by presence, my breath within you. Not an awakening built by outward effort, but by inner clarity. Not an awakening stirred by eloquent words, but by the quiet radiance of a soul I have touched. Remember, true awakening does not happen by shaking others awake, but by becoming one who is fully awake. When a soul is renewed, it carries a resonance that other souls recognize instinctively. When a person stands firm, those around them find a place to steady themselves. When someone walks in my stability, they become a signal for those searching for the light. And this is what you are beginning to carry. In this season, you will see more and more things unfold without needing explanation. Those who once dismissed you will suddenly take notice. Those who kept their distance will feel themselves drawn toward you. Not because your appearance or speech has changed, but because the spiritual atmosphere around you is shifting. I have raised your frequency to a higher level, so high that anything not aligned with it will naturally fall away, and anything that belongs to me will naturally come near. My child, you must understand that this change is not a reward, it is a confirmation. For years, you have been faithful in hidden places. You have done what was right when no one saw. You chose gentleness when you had every right to respond harshly. You chose humility when others tried to rise by stepping on your convictions. You chose silence when you could have shouted. You preserved purity of heart even when bruised and overlooked. These choices shaped you into someone who can carry influence without harming others. And because of that, I can now place into your hands what many desire but cannot bear. In this season, your authority will not come from your appearance, but from your transparency. People often believe power is something displayed outwardly, but in my kingdom, power is the ability for my light to pass through you without obstruction. When a vessel is free of the cracks of bitterness, the sediment of fear, the shadows of resentment, my light shines through with such purity that those who stand near feel touched without you speaking a single word. This is what I am forming within you. Notice this lately. The things that once distracted you no longer hold influence. The words that were once wounded now have no power. The memories that once shattered you now fade like distant reflections. The wounds you thought could never be healed are becoming testimonies. None of this is accidental. These are the signs that you are being transformed from within in a profound way. True healing does not come from fleeting emotion. It comes from the restructuring of the soul, the place where I replace old layers with new spaces filled with light. My beloved, in the past, you could be swept away by emotion, affected by the opinions of others, or have your vision blurred by the voices around you. But now, I am drawing you out of that chaos. You will know what comes from me by the peace that rests gently upon your spirit like a soft wind. You will know what does not come from me by the heaviness that settles in your heart. You will no longer need endless analysis. I will make things clear in an instant. But the most precious thing I want to give you in this season is the ability to stand firm amid rapid change. Because you must understand, my child, your new season will not resemble your old one. It will not come gradually. It will not unfold slowly. It will not bloom according to rhythms you are familiar with. No, this new season will come like a strong but gentle wind, both quiet and mighty at the same time. I will lead you to places you once believed were beyond your reach. You will meet people you once thought you could never access. You will stand in positions you once felt unqualified to hold. Do not tremble. You are not placed there because you are perfect, but because you are ready in this new season. I want you to understand that prominence is not the goal. Faithfulness is what I seek in you. If you keep your heart anchored in me, you will never be lost in the crowd. If you keep your eyes fixed on me, you will not be overwhelmed by the greatness around you. If your ears remain sensitive to my voice, you will not be swept away by the noise of the world. Prominence is only a byproduct. Surrender is the source of the strength you carry. My child, now you must learn how to walk without needing human affirmation. Not because you do not need others, but because your heart must never become dependent on applause. If praise makes you happy and criticism makes you crumble, you cannot carry the stability I want to place within you. From here on, you must learn to take my voice as your root. Let my words be your measure. Let my presence be your comfort. Let my gaze be your assurance. If you can do this, no one will ever be able to steal the peace I plant within you. I will release in you a new kind of confidence, a confidence not based on accomplishments, but on the awareness of your true identity. You will no longer speak small words about yourself. You will no longer see yourself through the lens of past failures. You will no longer shrink back out of fear of unsettling others. You will walk as one who knows they are chosen, loved, entrusted, and placed in this generation for a purpose that cannot be replaced. Do not forget your maturity is not just for your own strength, but so you may lead others with the gentleness I have given you, not leading by force, but by presence, not leading with loud commands, but with understanding, not leading with power, but with kindness that breaks the grip of darkness. My child, when you reach the peak of this stage, I want you to pause for a moment and feel the vastness of the atmosphere you are stepping into. This is not ordinary expansion. This is the expansion of the spiritual realm where old limits fall away, where narrow frameworks are removed, where the barriers the world once built around you can no longer hold. You have passed through the deep layers of refining. Now you are rising into the higher layers of revelation. You have been softened by fire. Now you will be lifted by the Spirit. This is the moment where what I have done within you intersects with what I am about to do through you. You are standing at the meeting point between a healed past and an opened future. The journey you walked is no longer a burden. It has become holy ground. The place where I met you, touched you, cleansed you, and prepared you. Do not underestimate anything you have gone through. For every crack in your soul has become a place where I poured in my light, and that light is now beginning to flow outward from you. Listen carefully, you are entering a time where the natural and the spiritual will move together. In the past, what I spoke to you was shown only in your heart, in impressions, in intuition, in gentle stirrings. But from here on, you will begin to see my movement in the visible world. What you feel inside will start to take shape outside. What I whisper will begin to reflect in circumstances. The answers you have been waiting for will appear in ways that leave you no choice but to say, "Only God could have done this." This new alignment is the sign that I am taking you across the boundary between one who seeks and one who carries a mission. You will not only hear me, you will carry my word. You will not only sense me, you will release my resonance. You will not only follow the light, you will bring that light into places where no one has yet walked. This is not a distant dream, it is approaching with every breath you take. My child, this elevation is not a moment of worldly glory. It does not arrive with applause. It does not reveal itself through public praise. It comes through a quiet but profound transformation within you, one that only those who walk deeply with me can understand. You will find yourself drawn into conversations you did not seek. You will find yourself standing in places you did not plan to enter. You will feel your words carry a spiritual weight you can sense, even as they leave your lips. This is the sign that I have placed my fire upon your speech. I want to speak to you about the call from ahead, a call not born from memory but from the future I have ordained for you. That call makes your heart tremble in ways you cannot deny. It does not force you, it draws you into the light. It does not exhaust you, it revives you. This call is widening within your spirit like a great door slowly opening. And the closer you come, the clearer you will see the truth. You were once too fragile to face. You were created to carry an influence far greater than the place you currently stand. You have learned how to walk steadily in darkness. Now you will learn how to walk firmly in light. You have learned how to trust without evidence. Now you will learn how to remain faithful as the promise begins to take form. You have learned endurance in uncertainty. Now you will learn devotion in abundance. My beloved, I know what I am about to tell you may surprise you, but receive it with peace. I have prepared you to be the spearhead of a new spiritual movement. You are not here to repeat what has been done. You are here to open a path. You are not here to live under another's shadow. You are here to bring light into spaces untouched by others. You are not here to blend into the crowd. You are here to bear my imprint for those searching for hope in silence. I have watched your soul longer than you realize. I know when you trembled but did not retreat. I know when you prayed quietly while your heart was aching. I know when you collapsed but still lifted your head to look for me. These very moments have served as heaven's confirmation that you can carry the weight of the glory I am placing upon your life. In this season, I will teach you how to walk without being overwhelmed by expansion. You will learn how to keep your breath steady when great doors open. You will learn how to keep your heart tender as I lift you higher. You will learn how to keep humility alive even as things begin to move smoothly around you. What matters most is that your heart remains anchored in me. If you keep this part right, everything else will fall into its rightful place effortlessly. Remember, this true strength is not found in display, but in devotion. Not everyone who stands high is strong. Only those who stand close to me endure. Not everyone who journeys far is safe. Only those who walk in my light avoid stumbling. Keep your heart anchored to the source of life. As long as you place me above every other voice, you will never lose your way. Prepare yourself, for I am taking you to higher ground, not so you may show yourself, but so you may see clearly what I am orchestrating in your life. You will witness the restoration of dreams you believed had died. You will see me opening doors you never knew how to knock on. You will see people who once misunderstood you, seeking your counsel. And you will see yourself standing strong in ways you never imagined you could. This stage is not a simple continuation, it is an upgrade. It is not repetition, it is transformation. It is not a step from darkness into light, but from light into even greater glory. At this level, I do not merely lift you up, I elevate you. I do not merely lead you. I place within you the ability to lead others out of places they never dared to enter. Stand still for a moment and feel this. The atmosphere around you has changed. Some shifts do not come from your movements, but from the shift in the heavenly realm I have established over your life. You are standing in a space where my presence grows heavier, where every breath you inhale is infused with wisdom the world cannot teach. You are sensing a calmness you once could not hold. You are hearing clarity once buried beneath layers of doubt and self-questioning. This is the sign that you have stepped onto new spiritual ground. I want you to understand that this level requires you to see the world through the eyes of one who has matured deeply in me. You will no longer be permitted to view challenges as obstacles. You will view them as doors. You will no longer see harsh words as wounds. You will see them as opportunities to strengthen your inner spirit. You will not view silent seasons as abandonment. You will see them as the space I use to impart greater revelation. Here is a truth I want you to carry when I lift you higher. You will see differently, feel differently, think differently, and respond differently, not because you have become proud, but because your nature has been transformed. You will no longer react based on what your eyes see. You will respond according to what my spirit stirs within you. This is the distinguishing mark of those who walk the path I have prepared. As you stand firm in me, I will cause your voice to reach places where despair once ruled. I will cause your presence to become light for those searching for direction. I will cause your hands to hold comfort, and your heart to become a place where others see perseverance. This is the power of quiet strength, the kind possessed only by souls refined by fire. My child, I did not bring you to this level by accident. I brought you here because you proved, through every trial, that you refused to let wounds define you. You proved that you can still love while hurting. You proved that you can still believe without signs. You proved that you can still walk even when the path was dark. These are the very things that tell heaven you are not merely one who has been rescued. You are one who can carry rescue to others. My beloved, I will teach you how to walk with a confidence that does not come from pride, but from the understanding of your roots in me. You will no longer ask, "Am I good enough?" Instead, you will say, "I know the one who is with me." You will no longer fearfully wonder, "What if I fail?" Instead, you will declare, "If I am in his plan, nothing can shake me." This shift in thought will hold you steady even when the winds rise. What I placed within you is not meant only for you, it is for those waiting for you to take your place. There are souls trapped in fear who do not know how to escape. I will bring them near you, not for you to rescue them by your own strength, but for you to lead them to the only source who can heal, to me. Be willing. You do not need to know everything. You only need to obey. Not because I desire to control you, but because obedience protects you from paths that could pull you out of the light. The very things that once made you tremble will become the places where you stand strongest. You once feared loss, now you will learn to release without fear of lack. You once feared being alone, now you will know that I am your fullness. You once feared being misunderstood, now you will become the one I trust with words, even when others cannot fully understand how you operate. This change is not something you force, it is the work I am doing within you. I am shaping you into one who carries my presence not only in your words, but in your breath. When you walk into a room, you will feel the atmosphere shift, not because you are powerful, but because I walk with you. When you speak, you will feel your words reach depths you could not reach with intellect alone. When you pray, you will see answers come more quickly, not because you are holy enough, but because your heart is aligned with mine. My child, the ground beneath your feet is different now. The spiritual air around you is thicker. Invisible currents are weaving the new path I am opening. This is not imagination. This is spiritual reality rising around your life. You are stepping onto the land of the commissioned, not just the comforted. Open your heart wide to receive this commissioning. Does not begin with action, but with awareness. Action is simply the result of deeply knowing what I have placed within you and what I desire to release through you. In these past seasons, I healed the weaknesses in your soul. I addressed the wounded corners, and I replaced old hurts with stability. All of this was not merely for your healing, it was to establish you so you could stand under the power I am about to entrust to you. My child, you do not carry only light, you carry direction. At this level, the light does not only illuminate your own path, It illuminates the path of those around you. You will see souls trapped in labyrinths they cannot escape by themselves. You will recognize areas of darkness others are afraid to confront. And I will send you into those places not with noise, but with quiet authority, not with outward warfare, but with an anointed presence. Remember this, every commissioning comes with protection. I never send you into a place of danger without surrounding you with my power. You do not need to fear invisible threats. You do not need to fear whispers that make you doubt yourself. You do not need to fear the spirits that oppose my intentions. When I send you, all of heaven moves with you. You will begin to sense this more clearly in the days ahead. Things you once dismissed as coincidences are actually signals. Encounters you once thought were accidental are divine arrangements. Flickers of insight you once labeled as fleeting emotions are spiritual indicators. All of these are ways I communicate with those I send. Pay close attention. Discernment is no longer an optional gift. It is a tool. Without it, you would not know where to go. But I will sharpen your discernment like a spear in my hand. You will recognize who is sent by me and who comes to disrupt your rhythm. You will sense atmospheres not aligned with the light in a single thought. You will know what to release, what to hold, what to step into, and what to avoid without needing analysis or argument. Do not fear separation. When I bring you to this level, certain things, certain people, and certain conversations will naturally fall away, not because they are bad, but because they no longer match the pace I am leading you into. Separation is not punishment, it is refinement. It is how I create room for what belongs to this season. Do not hold on to what I am dismantling. Do not cling to what I am removing. Do not grieve over what I am relocating. When you cling to the old, you hinder the birth of the new. But when you open your heart, you will see clearly everything I remove is to make space for something greater. At this level, I will also teach you the power of stillness. This stillness is not the silence of pain, but the silence of those who know they are standing in the hands of the Creator. You will learn to speak fewer words, yet each one will carry weight. You will learn to stand firm without display. You will learn to act when I command, and rest when I call you to pause. Stillness is heaven's strategy. Those who do not understand you may think you are withdrawing, but heaven knows that stillness is where I build the greatest things within you. I will place divine appointments in your life, souls I have prepared to meet you in this very moment. When you encounter them, you will know instantly. Their spirits will resonate with the light in you. Some will come so I can use you to break chains within them. Some will open doors for you. Some will join you in building what I have ordained for this generation. Every encounter holds purpose. No soul will come near your life in this season without carrying a portion of my divine intent. My child, I want to speak to you about spiritual boldness, the kind I will ignite in you more powerfully than ever before. This boldness is not the recklessness of the world. It rises from the certainty that you are walking in the very center of my will. When this boldness awakens, you will no longer fear making mistakes. You will no longer fear judgment. You will no longer fear failure, because you will know that you are not walking by your own strength, but by mine. My words spoken to you will begin to carry the power to accomplish what they speak. You will realize you do not need to beg endlessly. You need only to agree with me. You do not need to thrash or strive. You need only to stand in obedience. When your spirit aligns with mine, your words will carry the resonance of heaven, and heaven will respond. When I send you, you do not go alone. You do not get confused. You do not go uncertain. You go with the assurance that I have gone before you. I am walking with you. and I will come behind you. I go ahead to open the way. I walk beside you to keep you from falling. I go behind you to guard what you have sown. This is the protection of heaven upon the one who is sent. What I am about to do through you will not touch only a few souls, it will create a wave. One transformed person can change a family. One family awakened can change a community. One community revived can change a generation. And I place you here because I know you can carry the weight of such a wave when the time arrives. You are no longer the one standing outside knocking. You have been brought into the territory of those who know the rhythm of heaven. You have passed through the darkness of uncertainty, endured the silence of waiting, and now you stand where few dare to stand, where my light touches your marrow, and where my intentions are written upon your life in the ink of my spirit. This season is no longer simple preparation, it is a sacred inauguration. I mark you now as a messenger who carries the sound of my kingdom, not a messenger of old messages, but of what I am doing in this very hour. You were not placed in this generation by coincidence. You have been sent into the precise moment of history when darkness tries to rise, when hearts are fractured, when the world is weary of empty promises. And in this moment, I send you as a weighted whisper carrying reassurance, illumination, and restoration. In this season, I am opening within you a new realm of perception, where you will know your direction without needing to see the map. You will feel my movements like the beat of your own heart. You will know when I want you to pause, when I want you to move, when I want you to speak, and when I want you to guard silence like a keeper of holy secrets. I do not want you to live by emotional judgment. I want you to live by the clarity I place within your soul. When you walk in that clarity, you will no longer be scattered, no longer tossed by contradicting voices, no longer dragged into battles that do not belong to you. You will walk as one who knows exactly where they belong, and that certainty will make darkness tremble. You now stand in the land of transition. Here, you no longer learn how to survive. You are learning how to carry the flame. This flame is not the fire of destruction, it is the fire of purification, illumination, and building. The fire I place within you will never burn you, but it will burn away every layer of fear, stagnation, weariness, and doubt. It will soften hardened places and bring light to realms within you that you have never seen before. And when this flame begins to burn, you will see what I have hidden within you all this time: boldness. Not a boldness that comes from shouting, but a boldness born from unshakable peace. Not a boldness that comes from pretending to be strong, but from knowing that I am in every step you take. Not a boldness that comes from ego, but from being so deeply rooted in me that you no longer seek approval from anyone else. My child, I want you to look ahead and see that what is opening before you is no longer out of reach. You once pleaded with me to open doors you did not know how to touch. Now, those very doors turn on their hinges the moment you step close, not because you push them, but because heaven recognizes the footsteps of the one I have sent. The things that once blocked your path will dissolve not because you force them aside, but because they no longer have authority over one who carries my anointing. O child, I want you to stop fearing greatness, not greatness in the worldly sense, but in the spiritual sense, greatness in carrying weight, in influence, in maturity, in impact. Many fear greatness because they think it will demand too much. But I tell you this, when I give greatness, I also give the strength to carry it. When I place you in higher positions, I sustain the feet that stand there. When I open your mouth to speak words with weight, I guard your lips so they do not utter what should not be spoken. From this moment on, you will see me opening new realms of influence in ways you did not expect. People you once could not reach will begin coming toward you. Conversations you once thought were not meant for you will unfold effortlessly like soft opening doors. You will stand in places you once felt unworthy to enter, not because you fought for them, but because I brought you there as the bearer of comfort and truth. I will strengthen your voice, but not in loudness. Your voice will become a signpost for wandering souls. It will become an anchor for weary hearts. It will be a gentle lamp guiding others to where I am waiting for them. And the most wondrous part is this: you will not have to strain for your voice to be heard. I will amplify it. All you must do is remain pure and faithful. My beloved, this season carries another depth. I am making you one who carries rest. When others come near you, they will feel relief. When they speak with you, they will feel understood. When they observe your life, they will sense a wellspring flowing within you that they cannot describe. That is the evidence of my companionship. This is no longer merely a season of hearing, learning, and receiving. It is a season of functioning, applying, and revealing. This season marks a turning point, because from here forward, every movement in your life will bear the mark of partnership between you and me. You are no longer only one who receives guidance. You are becoming one who works with me in the deeper designs of heaven. Pause for a moment and feel the shift in the spiritual atmosphere. Responsibility is increasing, but without heaviness. Revelation is opening, but without overwhelm. Guidance is clear, but without pressure. Confidence is rising, but without pride. These are signs that you have entered the time of maturity. The seasons of refining are no longer behind you like distant memories. They are becoming the firm foundation upon which I will build. From here, you will feel a new kind of prompting, not the restless stirring of anxiety, but the gentle movement of the one leading you into the stream of divine purpose. This prompting will make the direction I want you to take clearer, not through loud signs, but through deep, inner certainty. I will teach you the principle of how light operates. Light does not fight darkness, it simply appears, and darkness withdraws. Likewise, you no longer need to wrestle with every invisible battle the way you once did. Now, you need only stand where I place you, and your presence, anointed by me, will push darkness away. This is the secret of spiritual operation. Your very nature shifts the atmosphere before your words do anything else. I see the questions you hide within yourself, whether you are strong enough, bright enough, deep enough to carry what I place in you. And I speak this with the tenderness of the Creator. You were not chosen because you are strong, but because you are open. You were not chosen because you are perfect, but because you are willing. You were not chosen because you surpass others, but because when everything was stripped away, you surrendered to my guidance. That surrender has become the strength heaven acknowledges. From this point on, when I lead you to new opportunities, what I desire most is not your effort, but your sensitivity. Pay attention. There will be moments when you sense something is opening, even before your eyes see it. Those moments are the exact instant I am moving. If you respond to that whisper, you will see doors open in sequence, not because you forced them, but because you aligned with my rhythm. My beloved, I will place on your lips words that awaken, not to impress, but to revive. Your words will be weighty, yet they will not burden anyone. They will be deep, yet they will not exhaust. They will flow like clear water, softening hardened stones in the hearts of others. This is why I need you to understand whatever you speak in this season must flow from your closeness with me. What I place on your tongue is not for building your image, it is for touching souls who are waiting for a signal to return to the path they abandoned. O child. In this season I will teach you that true influence is not having others follow you, but leading them back to their truest selves, the part of them I planted since the beginning. When you speak, you will awaken memories of the divine identity they have forgotten. When you pray, their spirits will recall the seeds I sowed long ago. When you stand before them, they will feel as if they are coming home. This is the purpose of spiritual operation, not for you to become great, but for me to be seen clearly through you. I will also teach you how to walk in the rhythm of active peace. At this level, peace is not passive, it is strategy. It keeps you from being swept into storms that are not yours. It holds you steady when many voices surround you. It allows you to hear my whisper even when the world is loud. In this season, your peace will become your strongest shield. When you hold on to peace, no arrow can strike your soul. When you hold on to peace, darkness cannot enter. When you hold on to peace, heaven opens wide. Things that once took years to understand, you will understand in a moment. Things that once required many seasons to shift will change within a few steps. Things that once were delayed will begin moving like a rushing current, but it will be a current of life, not chaos. I do not want you to prepare with tension. I want you to prepare with willingness, and you have been willing longer than you realize. My beloved, you are stepping into spiritual ground where the seeds I have planted quietly in previous seasons begin to rise above the soil and become visible movements in reality. This is no longer a season only of hearing, learning, or receiving. This is the season in which you are called to operate, to participate, to co-create with me in the deep purposes I have prepared for you long before now. You are no longer standing in the place of a beginner, but stepping into the position of one who partners with me, one who now understands the rhythm of heaven more clearly than ever before, one who knows that every movement within your spirit is being guided by an unseen yet mighty hand. Let your heart be still and sense the shift in the sacred atmosphere around you. Responsibility seems greater, yet no longer feels heavy. Revelation is deeper, yet no longer overwhelms. Guidance is clearer, yet no longer presses you. Confidence is stronger, yet carries no trace of pride. All these things are simply signs that you have entered the time of maturity, the moment when previous seasons of refinement no longer sit behind you merely as milestones of trials, but have become the wide and steady foundation upon which I now build greater things in your life. This is the season of intentional execution, where you no longer walk in uncertainty, no longer fumble for small answers, no longer sway between choices, but begin to move with the certainty that rises from deep within. When you said to me, "Lead me into what you are doing," you stepped out of the posture of waiting and into the posture of partnership. That change was not a declaration of words, but a shift in nature. From this point on, you will feel within yourself a current that is gentle yet powerful, quiet yet decisive, a stirring not born of worry but of life. It will help you sense my direction even when your natural eyes see nothing, and recognize my timing even when circumstances give no outward sign. In this stage, I will teach you the principle of how light operates. Light does not need to wrestle with darkness, it simply appears, and darkness withdraws. Likewise, you no longer need to split yourself fighting every invisible battle as you once believed. You no longer need to exhaust yourself in constant mental warfare. You no longer need to strain to rescue what is no longer meant to remain. All you must do is stand where I ask you to stand, and your very presence, already saturated with my anointing, will cause darkness to retreat. You do not need to prove this. You need only be who you are in union with me. This is the secret of spiritual operation. Your nature changes the atmosphere long before your words have any effect. I know the hidden questions you have never spoken out loud. The moments you feel small when faced with my intentions. The times you wonder whether you are strong enough, bright enough, deep enough to carry what I entrust to you. O child, you were not chosen because you are strong, but because you are open, not chosen because you are perfect, but because you are willing, not chosen because you excel, but because you sought me even when everything inside you trembled. It is your surrender and weakness that has become the strength heaven acknowledges. For when I search for someone to place a sacred weight upon, I do not look for the self-assured, I look for those who lean on me. From this moment onward, there will be times when it feels as if time pauses just so your spirit can receive signals from the heavens. In those moments, I am moving. I am opening paths. I am revealing direction. If you simply respond to that gentle stir, you will see doors open in front of you, in ways nothing can hinder, not because you are capable, but because you are aligned with my rhythm. And when heaven and your heart move as one, even the universe cannot stand in your way. I will place on your lips words that awaken, not words of showmanship, but words that reignite the light in souls that have nearly grown cold. Your words will not burden hearts, they will soften them. They will not frighten, they will make souls remember the most beautiful part I planted within them. I give you this kind of speech not to build an image, but to form a bridge through which those who are lost may return to the source of life. Remember, true influence is not measured by how many people follow you, but by how many find themselves through the light I place within you. When you live rightly, you will not need to draw anyone, they will come on their own. When your heart remains pure, you will not need to fight, I will fight for you. When you walk according to my voice, you will not need to protect anything, I will guard everything I entrust to you. In this season, your peace will become your strongest fortress. Peace will no longer be merely a gentle feeling, it will be strategy, armor, and weapon. When you hold on to peace, you will not be pulled into battles that are not yours. When you hold on to peace, invisible arrows will not pierce you. When you hold on to peace, the path will open beneath your feet without you having to chase it. Things that once required years to change will shift in moments. Things once delayed will flow toward you like a river of life. This new speed will not tire you. It will confirm that the appointed time has come. I do not want you to prepare with tension. I want you to prepare with readiness. And you have been ready far longer than you realized. My child, I want to lead you through another doorway of understanding, so you not only recognize that you are in a season of execution, but also know how to keep your soul steady amid the movements I will allow around you. For when the season of operation begins, the first thing tested will not be your calling, your ability, or your opportunities, but your inner life, where motives, expectations, fears, and hopes weave together. I do not want you simply to do the right things. I want you to live at the right depth, the right rhythm, the right stature of one who knows they are partnering with the Creator. Do not assume that the questions inside you disappear when results come. In truth, when doors begin to open, new questions arise. For whom am I doing this? What am I truly seeking? Where is my dependence placed? I do not rebuke you for these questions. I come to anchor you in a foundation. That foundation does not lie in outcomes, nor in human recognition, nor in opportunities, but in your relationship with me. If that root remains firm, Everything else may come and go without sweeping away your soul. In this season, I will teach you a profound principle. Do not let the pace of outward activity become faster than the pace of inward attachment. Many rush through doors simply because they open, without stopping to ask me whether that door is truly theirs. As a result, they spend years trying to sustain what I never asked them to carry. But you are different. You will not be led by the urgency of circumstances, but by the peace of my spirit. You will see places that seem promising, invitations that appear enticing, opportunities that look like shortcuts. They are not always harmful, but not all of them belong to the path I marked for you. When you feel the urge to make an immediate decision while your soul is unsettled, pause and remember that I never guide you through pressure. I lead you through clarity, through the quiet yet decisive voice within you, through the indescribable steadiness that you can sense even when you cannot explain it. I want you to grow accustomed to returning to the still place with me before making decisions that will shape the long path ahead of you. This is not delay, it is wisdom. I will teach you to manage time in a completely different way. In the past, you saw time as a long, flowing river, and you tried to make the most of every drop so you would not feel left behind. But now, I will open your eyes to see time as seasons clearly defined, each carrying its own purpose, rhythm, and grace. You cannot use the pace of the sowing season to measure the harvest season, nor can you use the expectations of the hidden season to evaluate the time when I bring you into the open. In this season, there will be days when everything moves so quickly that even you are surprised, but there will also be days when I deliberately slow the rhythm so your soul does not get swept into the pace of outward results. I do not want you to lose yourself in a busyness that merely carries a spiritual appearance. I am not calling you to abandon intimacy with me in exchange for efficiency by earthly standards. I want you to learn to accomplish much from a place of rest, to speak much from a place of stillness, to touch many from a hidden wellspring that only you and I know. When you grasp this, you will no longer measure your worth by full schedules or completed tasks, but by how well you keep your heart tender, honest, and responsive to my voice throughout the journey. My child, I also want to speak with you about the feeling of unworthiness that still rises unexpectedly. Even now, when you have already stepped through doors I opened, you thought that once I began to use you in greater things, that feeling would disappear. But in truth, it simply changes shape. At times it makes you shrink back when I am calling you forward. At times it makes you question your own motives. At times it makes you compare yourself with others and conclude that you are not ready, not capable, not pure enough. I do not condemn you for this feeling, but I want you to know that it must never become your compass. I have never loved you based on how you feel about yourself. I loved you long before you had a sense of who you were. I have seen your entire journey, the stumbles, the exhaustion, the seasons of silence, and I still chose you. I do not deny your weaknesses. I embrace them and transform them into the very places where my strength is displayed. When you feel unworthy, do not turn away from me. Bring that feeling to my feet, so I may remind you that you stand where you stand, not by merit, but by grace. When you learn to walk in grace, you will no longer fear the moments when you feel not enough. You will simply return to the source. In this season, I will also address something very delicate within you, the fear of being misunderstood or rejected when you walk out what I speak. You have been wounded before by harsh words, heavy glances, and comments that seemed casual but pierced deeply. And I know there were moments when you wanted to dim your own light to avoid scrutiny. But my beloved, If you let that fear pull you back, you will unintentionally deny what I have placed within you. I am not calling you to make noise to prove yourself, nor to explain every action to everyone. I am calling you to live honestly before me and walk in what I speak, even when others do not yet understand. Those who belong to me will eventually recognize what is at work in you. Those who see only through judgment will never be the ones who determine your true worth. You are responsible for your obedience, not for anyone's reaction. When you anchor your heart in this truth, criticism will shake you less, and praise will sway you less. You will learn to hold both lightly, valuing only my voice above them. There will be mornings when you wake without feeling any obvious movement, days when tasks feel repetitive, seasons when your heart senses no strong emotion. Do not hastily conclude that I have stopped moving simply because your feelings are quiet. Remember, not every moment must blaze with intensity to carry meaning. Some days are like deep roots, growing silently beneath the soil unseen. Yet they determine the strength of the whole tree. The days when you see no outward changes are the days when I am strengthening your inner structure. The season of operation is not an endless string of dramatic breakthroughs. It also includes steady rhythms where you remain faithful in small steps, careful in familiar tasks, diligent in unnoticed work. This kind of faithfulness creates the atmosphere for unexpected breakthroughs. I want you to know that in all of this movement, I am not asking you to become someone else. I am calling you to become the fuller, deeper, truer version of who you already are in me. I do not want you to imitate anyone, nor compare your journey with another's. I did not design you to be a copy. I wrote your life as a unique story with its own rhythm, tone, and purpose. When you understand this, you will stop looking sideways and begin looking forward toward where I am waiting for you to continue walking. This is not a time for you to chase someone ahead of you. It is the season where you step fully into the portion I have prepared, where each step you take carries my imprint, where every word you speak, every choice you make, every small act you perform carries a resonance far beyond what your eyes can see. And when you live daily with this awareness, you will realize that it is not merely another chapter, it is a new way of life, where you no longer ask, "Will you use me?" but begin whispering, "Keep my heart soft before you, so that whatever you desire to do through me, I will be ready to respond." My beloved, this is the moment when your role is no longer confined to your personal growth. It expands, flows, multiplies, and connects with larger currents of divine purpose. I want you to know that the transformation you have experienced is not only for your healing, it is a living testimony capable of unlocking doors that remain closed in others' lives, breaking chains they cannot break themselves, and drawing them closer to my light through the very journey you have faithfully walked. Imagine yourself as a lamp lit in the night, one that does not shout, does not flaunt itself, but simply stands. And standing is enough to guide those searching for their path. The light within you is not something you built, it is something I have kindled, and something I will not allow to be extinguished. The more authentically you live in me, the steadier, deeper, and stronger that light becomes, able to touch the dark places others are terrified to face. Many will come to you not because you seek them, but because I draw them to you. For their spirits will be drawn to the peace I have planted in you. They may not be able to explain why they trust you, why they open their hearts to you, why they feel lighter in your presence. But know that these are signs I am using you as a vessel of light, a bearer of life, a bridge between their souls and the heavens. In this season, I want you to become deeply aware of one thing. Your words will carry a weight that even you never imagined before. The sentences that seem ordinary to you may become the key that unlocks hope for someone else. A gentle encouragement from your lips may become the final drop of strength that keeps someone choosing life instead of giving up. A quiet prayer you offer may open a door they could never open on their own. I do not want you to underestimate the small things in my hands. The smallest actions become great. When you smile at someone who is exhausted, I use that smile to heal a wound. When you listen with patience, I use that listening to mend the fractures of their heart. When you place your hand on someone's shoulder and speak a sincere word, I use that touch to awaken the faith that has fallen asleep in them. You do not need to see the results immediately. Your part is to be faithful, and I will take care of the rest. I want you to know that your presence will be used like a silent yet powerful stream, capable of flowing into the dry places that even the strongest words cannot reach. Others may teach, persuade, explain, and reason, but I have given you the gift of healing presence, something that does not come from knowledge but from the depths of a soul I have touched. When your spirit has tasted my comfort, you will naturally carry that atmosphere wherever you go. When you have been lifted by me from weariness, you will become a resting place for those who tremble. When you know what it is to be loved, even in weakness, you will know how to love others without judgment. This is the mark of one chosen by me. They carry the fragrance of grace, even when they say nothing at all. I will also position you in divine encounters that you could never arrange yourself. You will go somewhere for a small reason and unexpectedly meet someone I have prepared. Someone whose life you were meant to step into at exactly that moment. You will speak a simple sentence, and I will use that sentence to awaken something they thought had died. You will feel a gentle nudge to pray for someone you are not close to, and only later will you realize that prayer was the shield that kept them from something they never knew threatened them. I will use you as I have used my beloved servants in Scripture, not always in dramatic moments, but in quiet ones that can redirect an entire life. I want you to understand that you are not only a receiver, but a carrier, not only one who was saved, but one who is sent, not only one who partakes of grace, but one who distributes life. Your operation in this season will not be loud, but it will be powerful, not showy, but deeply impactful, not dependent on displays of ability, but on the saturation of my spirit. What I do through you will not leave people awestruck. It will bring them back to life. And that is worth more than any recognition you could receive. My child, as I begin to use you to touch many lives, there will be subtle tests you must guard against. The first is invisible pride, not pride in your words, but pride in your thoughts, the feeling that you must carry others, that things will fall apart if you are not present. I want you to remember that you are an instrument, not the source, a river, not the spring, a vessel, not the origin. When you remember this, you will not burn out. You will not fall into the trap of self-importance, and you will not confuse your place with mine. Keep your heart soft and light. Surrender everything back to me. Allow me to determine the pace, the scope, and the timing. The second test is the fear of not being enough, the fear of mistakes, the fear that you cannot carry everything I want to place in your hands. My child, I want to cut this fear off from you now. I have never asked you to carry more than the grace I give you for each day. I give you strength daily, not yearly, wisdom exactly as needed, not beyond, anointing in the right moment, neither too early nor too late. When you remain in me, you will always be enough, not because you hold everything, but because you will never lack what is required for the assignment I give you in each moment. The final test is the stretching of your heart when you witness the pain of others. You carry spiritual sensitivity. You feel what others do not say. You hear the sigh hidden behind their smile. I want you to remember that you are not permitted to carry all that pain yourself. You are intercessor, companion, bridge, nothing more, nothing less. When you let me be the one who bears the weight, you become a channel of healing rather than a vessel that cracks from holding too much. My beloved, this is the moment you take your place within the larger tapestry, where those who walked before you laid stones of faith, and you now lay the stone of your present faithfulness. You are part of the sacred river that flows from generation to generation. You are not the first flame, but you are the flame of this era, not the first voice, but the voice I am using at this moment. Let your heart widen, because what I do through you will extend far beyond what you now see. You are called not only to receive, but to impart, not only to be uplifted, but to uplift, not only to be transformed, but to become one who plants transformation. You are approaching the deepest place of the sacred dialogue between me and your soul, where everything I have sown, refined, built, and protected in you through every past season begins to converge into a new strength, not a loud strength meant to impress, but a quiet, expansive, enduring strength, full of authority. This is the stage where I no longer speak only of what I am doing in you or what I will do through you, but where I reveal to you the overarching purpose of the entire journey to bring you into complete unity with my intent, so that you become one who carries a spiritual current that flows far beyond your personal life and touches generations to come. I do not want you to follow me merely by emotion or impulse. I want you to follow me through deep knowing, like one who understands the rhythm of my own heartbeat, like one who senses every movement of the divine realm, like one who can distinguish between my voice and the echo of passing illusions. Such depth does not come from striving, but from the path I have taken you through the days you did not understand, the nights you wrestled in silence, the mornings you rose despite seeing no change, and the seasons when you believed I was quiet. All of these have trained you so that now, when I speak, your heart catches the frequency instantly. In this time, you will begin to see what only those who have walked through fire with me understand. True strength is not measured by how much you can accomplish, but by how firmly you stand in the identity I have set within you. You will not need to fight for a place to belong. Your presence will declare it. You will not need to struggle to hold your ground. I am the one who holds it for you. You will not need to race with anyone, for your path is not parallel to theirs. I lead you along a route no one can replace and no one can compete for. You do not walk according to the map the world draws. You walk according to the map I have written with my own hand. This season will also make you more sensitive to my presence in a deeper way. You will begin to notice the moments when I pass through your soul like a gentle yet profound breeze. Even when nothing outwardly changes, there will be mornings you awaken in an unusual peace. That is me placing rest upon you before a day filled with unexpected turns. There will be moments during ordinary work when a quiet encouragement flows into your heart, lifting you and turning you in the right direction. That is me whispering into your spirit. And there will be nights when it feels as though the whole sky opens in silence, not to reveal something dramatic, but to remind you that you are covered by a sovereignty no force can break. My child, this is the season when you will understand the true meaning of surrender. Surrender is not abandoning your goals. It is abandoning the illusion that you must achieve everything alone. Surrender is not the lack of effort. It is effort placed in the right way, at the right time, under my guidance. Surrender is not weakness. It is freedom from burdens I never asked you to carry. When you truly grasp this, The pressures that once exhausted you will become light. The fears that once haunted you will lose their power. The things that once strained your heart will become opportunities for me to reveal my dominion. My child, now I want you to step into the maturity of action. This means that everything you do, even the smallest task, flows from your unity with me. What you say, whom you help, the choices you make, the direction you walk, each becomes an extension of the harmony between your spirit and the rhythm of heaven. When you live this way, your words will not grow heavy, but impactful. Your actions will not grow complicated, but precise. Your presence will not carry mere calm, but a quiet authority that causes what is not of me to loosen its grip. I will also begin unveiling the broader picture behind the trials I have led you through. I have not been preparing you only for personal responsibility. I have been shaping you to stand within a spiritual current far bigger than yourself, a current that began long before you and will continue long after you. When you realize you are not isolated in your battles, not alone in your calling, but part of a spiritual host stretching across generations, you will understand that your steps carry weight, your prayers cause reverberations, and your obedience opens corridors for those who will walk after you. From this moment forward, I want you to live not merely as an individual, but as a sign. People will see in you not only the story of one person, but evidence that I am still moving upon the earth, calling, lifting, healing, transforming, and sending. Your life will become a mirror of my kindness, and though not everyone will understand it, those who belong to me will recognize it, feel it, and awaken because of it. My beloved, this is the moment when I want to open another door for you, the door of discernment, of vision, of the ability to see the invisible and recognize what is mine, even when nothing outwardly signals it. True spiritual maturity is not about knowing many things. It is about knowing how to see rightly, how to hear rightly, and how to respond rightly. In this season, I will teach you what those who walk in my spirit must understand. Every movement within your soul carries a message, and every inner stirring that arises when you stand near me contains guidance. I will train you to be so sensitive that you can detect a shift in the spiritual atmosphere with the slightest breeze in your heart. Recognize my signals through the faintest tug, and perceive my warnings by the smallest unease. This sensitivity does not come from trying to hear, but from being aligned with me. When your heart beats to my rhythm, you will see me not just in radiant moments, but also in the profound stillness where my voice flows like a quiet stream that never stops. I want you to understand a crucial truth: I never lead you through confusion. The moments you feel confused are the moments you are listening to too many voices at once. The voice of worry, the voice of the past, the voice of the fear of being wrong, the voice of old patterns still clinging to your soul. But my voice, my child, is always clear, not clear in the sense that you instantly know every step, but clear in the sense that it plants within you peace, clarity, and a gentle lightness no other voice can produce. When I speak, you will not feel pressure to act immediately. You will feel the completeness of what is right. When I guide, you will not be dragged, you will be invited. When I warn, you will not panic, you will become alert. And when I urge, you will not feel tension, you will feel purpose. In this season, I will teach you the art of silence, not the silence of emptiness, but the silence of strength. It is the silence that knows when to speak and when to hold back. The silence that knows when a truth should be declared and when it must wait for me to open the door. Many people spoil what I plant in them because they speak too soon. share too quickly, or expose what has not yet been permitted for revelation. But you must not be like that. You are called to keep words, to guard secrets, to protect revelation like a keeper of treasure. When I show you something in the Spirit, do not rush to shout it from the mountaintop. Let it take time to germinate, to grow, to be confirmed and safeguarded in stillness. When the moment comes, I will open the door for you to speak, and then your words will carry the weight of maturity, not the weight of impatience. I will gently detach you from what has completed its purpose in the previous season, even if your mind still clings to it. I do not want you bound to what has expired, because holding on to what is old will cause you to miss what I am preparing. This is not a painful separation, but a separation formed in love, in care, in a deep understanding of what is best for your spirit. You may not see the reason immediately, but in time you will understand I never take anything from you without giving something better, deeper, more aligned with my purpose for your life, my child. Discernment is not quick reasoning nor the ability to read other people. Discernment is the ability to recognize what belongs to me and what does not, even when the two look similar on the surface. There are things that come to you appearing as opportunities but carry inner confusion. There are things that look good but drain your soul. There are people who speak all the right words yet carry no breath of mine. And there are moments when everything externally seems fine, yet inside you there is no clarity. That is when discernment speaks. Discernment is the ability to see through the surface into the spiritual essence of a thing. It saves you from unnecessary detours, premature connections, and relationships that look beautiful but carry no life. Do not think discernment exists to make you suspicious of everything or accusatory toward others. True discernment never leads to a closed heart. It leads to freedom. It helps you know where to open your heart and where to close it, where to move forward and where to pause, where to speak and where to stay silent. When you carry discernment, you no longer feel the need to prove yourself right, for the peace within you confirms the direction. When you carry discernment, you are no longer swayed by the emotional storms of others, for your soul has been anchored to the unshakable rock. When you carry discernment, you will not be deceived by glittering things, for you know that real beauty must flow from the source of life, not from display. I will also teach you to distinguish my voice from the other voices. My voice brings clarity. It brightens your soul, lightens your heart, and restores your peace. My voice never drives you into despair, and it never makes you feel as though you must perform in order to keep my love. My voice invites, guides, corrects, and heals. The voice of fear is hurried, pressured, demanding, exhausting. The voice of the past argues, repeats, and drags you back into things I have already forgiven. The voice of the enemy accuses, belittles, and pushes you into spirals of self-condemnation. You will learn to recognize these differences in an instant, and when you do, you will no longer be easily shaken. In this season, I will also expand your spiritual territory. This territory is not a physical location, but an arena of influence, the space where your words, presence, and prayers carry impact. There were places where your words once fell into emptiness, but now they will take root. There were people who once were unwilling to listen, but now they will seek you. There were doors once shut tightly, but now they will open on their own. This does not happen because you have changed by the world's standards, but because your soul has been rightly positioned within the flow of heaven. When you stand where I want you to stand, the ground around you will stretch open. The further you go, the more you must keep your heart soft. Softness is not weakness, it is the capacity to let my spirit touch, reshape, adjust, and lead you without meeting resistance from your own will. A soft heart is a place where I can write new chapters at any moment. A soft heart is where I can place vision without it being twisted by pride or fear. A soft heart is where I can pour out my anointing without worry that it will be lost. Many lose their sensitivity simply because their hearts become hardened and no longer open to receiving when I shift them in a new direction. But you, my child, you have come too far to let hardness steal what I am ready to pour out. My beloved, from this place, if you look back, you will see that not a single piece of your journey was wasted. Not a single tear was meaningless. Not a single exhausting day was in vain. Not a single detour was unnecessary. Everything has worked together to bring you into this state, a state where your soul no longer lives merely trying to make it through, but as one who knows you are held by the hands of a sovereign who never makes mistakes. This is where I want your soul to pause for a moment, breathe deeply, and recognize that you are no longer standing at the first rung of faith. You are standing on a higher level, where you can see the landscape of the journey I have written with you, and from this vantage point, you will step forward with a calm courage you have never carried before. What I desire most for you in this season is not that you achieve some spiritual milestone, nor that you accomplish things that earn human applause, but that you step into complete unity with me in every breath, every decision, every thought. I want you to understand that the greatest glory of your life is not in how many places you will stand, how many people you will touch, or how many words you will speak, but in how fully you live out your true self in me. A soul united with me is a soul free from the pressure to prove anything to the world. You no longer have to race against the images of others or strive to become the version people expect. You are allowed to live as one who has found their rest in my arms. And from that rest, you let me decide the height, width, and depth your life will reach. That unity is not a vague emotion, it is a state where, no matter how circumstances shift, you return, you listen, you trust, and you place your feet on the path I show you, even when it is not the easiest or the fastest way. In that depth, I want you to begin seeing your life through the eyes of someone who is leaving a mark on generations not yet born. You often think of your life within the limits of time, counted by the years you have on earth, but I see your life as part of a stream that flows through many generations. The words you speak today, the choices you make today, the prayers you whisper in the quiet place today, all are creating ripples far beyond what you can imagine. There will be people you will never meet, yet they will inherit blessings from your obedience. There will be borders your feet may never cross, yet your intercession will reach them. There will be stories of faith told in families, in communities, in future generations where your name may never be mentioned. But your imprint will be there like the lingering fragrance left in a room after the one who carried it has gone. I want you to understand that I am weaving your life into threads that do not merely belong to the small tapestry of the present moment, but into the vast spiritual fabric of history I am writing. My child, when you understand this, you will no longer be haunted by the question, am I too late or am I behind before me? Lateness is never measured by time, but by the openness of your heart. Each time you say yes to me, regardless of what season you are placed back in alignment with my purpose. There is no summit I cannot bring you to if it is a part of my design, and there is no golden opportunity lost that I cannot replace with a path even more fitting. What you call missed chances are often simply my shifts in rhythm. So you do not settle for what only seems reasonable. but step into what truly matches your nature in me. Never have I allowed anyone who trusted in me to live a lifetime of regret. The sighs you have released in past seasons will be transformed into testimonies when the time comes. The days you thought you walked off course will be used to show others that I can bring anyone back into alignment in a single moment of surrender. Now, I want your soul to receive a deep assurance you are not being left behind in the story I am writing on this earth. You are not a spectator watching others be used while you wonder about your portion. Your name is written in the sacred script I am crafting not as a faint, forgettable supporting role, but as a character with depth, dimension, development, and purpose. I do not compare you with anyone, nor do I measure you by the standards of the world. I look into your heart and see your willingness even when you tremble. I see the tears you swallowed that no one else noticed. I see the prayers you whispered through sleepless nights. I see the moments you chose not to give up when giving up seemed like the easiest path. Every small act has been seen, recorded, preserved like foundation stones, and now I use them to build a life capable of carrying heavier, deeper, broader things without collapsing. Remember this, I do not place anything on your shoulders that your shoulders cannot bear, for I am the one who trained them. I did not give you a voice only to silence it. I gave you a voice to be used in the right place, the right time, with the right people. I did not give you a sensitive heart for it to be a burden. I gave it so you might become the place where others find the empathy they cannot find in a cold world. I did not give you discernment so you would live in suspicion. I gave it so you would walk with greater peace, greater freedom, and greater clarity. Everything I have placed in you, from what you clearly see to what you have not yet recognized, is part of a precious design. And I am the one who will teach you how to use each piece in its rightful moment. And now, I want you to look forward not with the eyes of fear, but with the gaze of someone who has been reassured. You may not know exactly what lies ahead, but you know the one who holds your hand. You may still have questions, but you no longer need them answered immediately before you take the next step. You may still have unhealed places, but they no longer define your present. You walk forward not as someone trying to control everything, but as someone being led by the one who knows when to stop, when to turn, when to wait, and when to run. That is true freedom, not having to manage life alone, but daring to surrender so you can live your rightful part in the story I am telling. The words I have spoken will not fade into the air like echoes in a valley. They will remain with you like seeds beneath the soil, waiting for the right season, the right sun, the right rain to emerge. Each time you feel weary, remember that I told you about the quiet strength born in the seemingly ordinary days. Each time you feel unsteady, remember that I told you about the rock you can lean on. Each time you stand at a crossroads, remember that I told you about the whisper found in stillness. And each time you feel small beneath the wide sky, remember that I told you this: you are not forgotten, not pushed aside, not overlooked. You are written, you are called, you are held, you are led, you are loved. So wipe your tears, take a deep breath, and take one more step. Not the step of someone panicked, but the step of someone who knows they are moving in the right direction. Not the step of someone being pushed, but the step of someone being invited. Not the step of someone alone, but the step of someone accompanied by the eternal companion. Your story does not end here. This is simply one profound chapter among many I will continue to write. And as I always do, I will walk with you until every word I have spoken comes to fulfillment in your life in a way more beautiful than anything you have hoped, imagined, or dreamed. Thank you for receiving today's message. Make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so we can continue to journey together in the living Word. Build unwavering faith and walk in the boundless love of God. Amen.